Guarnto, the founder of HeartStories, where we reconnect busy women to inspire joy and the courage to pursue your purpose. And I am here on the sofa with Terri because life is better on the sofa with a big sister by your side. So Terri, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Crystal.
This is Terri Paterson-McElhaney, and Terri is the marketing manager at Legacy ER and Urgent Care, where she oversees all of Legacy's community and field marketing strategy. She is like marketing phenom. She brings many years of experience to the table in developing strategic plans and ensuring the growth of all their facilities, 6 across the Metroplex, right?
We have 6, but I'm in charge of 3.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So 3 across the Metroplex. And when it comes to the grassroots approach for marketing, Terri's genuine and outgoing personality that you'll get to see here shortly makes her one of the most well-known and respected healthcare marketers in North Texas. She's well-known, obviously, for her also volunteer work and giving back in the community, which we're going to dig into all of that later. I get to know those things about you later. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. She's involved with over 20 organizations, including serving on the board of the directors for Frisco Chamber of Commerce and the National Breast Cancer Foundation Advisory Council and the Make-A-Wish Greater Dallas Council. And in 2019, she was a nominee for the Collin County Woman of the Year Award, which is amazing. You are the woman of the year. And Terri lives in Frisco with her husband, Joey, and sons, Morgan and Maddox, and her dogs, Aspen and Ryder. So mom, just like you and me, or many of us, and she, man, is just in the grind of doing all the things and finding time to get back. So I'm so thrilled to have you here with us today, Terri. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Of course. So I want to start with something that I didn't talk about in your intro, in that you were recognized by the Frisco Chamber of Commerce with 2 awards this year, Citizen of the Year and Volunteer of the Year. Wow, congratulations. So proud of you. Just so proud to know you.
Oh, you're so sweet. I mean, it's truly a humbling experience to even have people consider me for that award. I'm still shocked.
Oh, well, it's incredible. I'm not shocked at all. But as a working mom who serves on all the committees and boards, what drives you to also be such a dedicated citizen and volunteer? Like, what is it that I mean, I see you on social media, I feel like every night out and about at doing something amazing. So tell us about that. Like, what is it that drives that in you?
Yeah. So, I love giving back. I love having that extra time, and where, I could be at home watching TV. There's just something about volunteering and giving back being my happy place. It just is. And I thought about so often how volunteering has been a part of my life, definitely since I moved to Frisco, if not just as I graduated from college. But I started thinking, what is it that made me start volunteering? And I forgot that my mother was such a huge volunteer in our community and our family. And I guess because it was just the normal thing that I lived with, that I didn't realize what an impact that her actions had on me. That later on, when I was able to have the time to do it myself, that it's really my mom that was my mentor in volunteering. And it's such a good place to be for me.
Oh, it's so good. And I mean, how profound is that you didn't, like, it's not the words. It's one of my favorite parenting ideals, is that it's not what we say, it's what we do that they will model. And the people that they become will be more like the people that we are versus the people we tell them to be. So that's beautiful. That's amazing, which means that legacy will live on. So let's skip to a different question. I want to hear about, so your kids, and maybe you haven't, because this whole mother revelation just happened, maybe you haven't put all the pieces together, but how cool is it that your kids helped create the Newman Village Lemonade Stand? So tell us about that, how it benefits kids who shouldn't have cancer, and how your kids got involved with that.
Yeah, so we're hoping to go into our 10th year this year. We'll see what happens, but ideally, if we can make it happen and have a big blowout for our 10-year anniversary of having the lemonade stand in Newman Village, that would be fantastic. But really how it started is the boys wanted to have a lemonade stand in the neighborhood, and I took them to the main community area, and we had a lemonade stand. And in like 45 minutes, they had already made like $40 or something. I can't even remember the exact amount. I remember thinking, how does that happen? Like when I had a lemonade stand, $2 for like 5 hours maybe, right?
How old were they? How old were they when this started?
Okay, so I'm not very good with math, but
how old are they now? Let's start with that.
Yeah, so they're Maddox will be 16 next month, and Morgan just turned 18. So 9 years ago.
Yeah.
They were little toots. They were so cute. And they wanted to go straight to Target and buy a gift. And we started talking about it. And I said, okay, that's fine. We can buy you a little something because you worked hard and you earned your money. But I said, we need to do a portion of that to giving back to the community. And I'll let you pick what you want to do with the money. So we started talking, and really initially, we raised money for Children's Medical Center of Plano so that the kids that were recovering had activities to do in their activity center. So we did that for a long time. And then the last 3 years, we joined with Kids Shouldn't Have Cancer Foundation to raise money for the Kids Shouldn't Have Cancer. And then this year, we have expanded. As I've gotten more involved with Make-A-Wish, we're going to partner with Make-A-Wish for our 10-year anniversary, and then help Wish Kids and grant some wishes and raise money for that. So it's just been a long, amazing journey. And it's not just my kids that have made it happen. Our neighborhood, the parents have jumped on board and wanted to teach their kids about giving back.
Oh, it's so cool.
Being a part of it. So it's a huge community event, and really open to the entire Frisco and surrounding community.
That's amazing. So do you do the lemonade stands inside your community still?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So this last year, I think we had almost 40 tables. I mean, I know it sounds really weird that, a lemonade stand really has such an impact, but last year we raised over $20,000 in 2 hours, and there were 40 tables, and we had entertainment with kids singing and a kids fashion show. And it is like a festival. It's not just like a little lemonade stand anymore. It's so fun.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That is, I mean, and just from that tiny seed of like, no, we're not going to keep all this money and go to Target and buy a toy, and look at all the lives you've impacted. That's incredible. Oh my goodness. Good job, Mama. Okay, so tell us then, in light of that, so, and you're not knowing how the 10th anniversary of the lemonade stand is going to play out. How has volunteering changed during the pandemic? And like, what is that? What kind of shifts and challenges have you experienced? And what things, I know before this, we were talking about how some things are going to change forever and some things will change temporarily. What do you think is going to stick and has been good and challenging and all of that? I know that's like 14 questions in one. So answer the ones.
There is so much that is being learned during this time, and we are having to really go out of our comfort zone and our think box and think, okay, well, we can't go to the senior citizens homes and play bingo with them. We can't go to the National Breast Cancer Foundation and make hope kits. And we can't work with Miracle League right now because they have restricted their activities there. So what can we do? So we have come up with different ideas where for National Breast Cancer Foundation, instead of being able to go there, we're continuing to write hope cards to women that are battling and are surviving this this cancer that they're trying to control right now. And then we are trying to figure out ways to go to the assisted living homes and do drive-by parades for them to give them some, happiness. You just have to readjust and figure out, it's hard, because I remember the first few weeks when I didn't have the ability to go volunteer. I'm like, oh, what am I missing? And how I'm not helping. And it was really hard. But everybody understands, and everybody needs to stay safe, and we have to do what's important for our communities and for our health. And so it'll be bigger and better, but we just have had to adjust and change some ideas.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, like even being able to sit with you right now and do these
Mhm.
sisters on your sofa, like you're not actually on my sofa and I'm not actually on my sofa either, of course. 'Cause there's a kid on my sofa currently who is not part of our conversation, but these like learning the new ways, the things that would have seemed unusual before to instead of you and I get together in person, let's hop on a Zoom. But you
Yeah.
do still have, and I know there's Zoom fatigue and all of that, but this still like
Mhm.
I feel like I can look in your eyes. I'm like so close, I could hug
Yeah.
you. Like having these types of conversations that aren't work related and aren't focused on the goal, a goal of some sort of end goal. It does feel like there is a human connection that we found
Mhm.
ways to foster
Yes.
outside of that I feel like there are things like that that will carry on, and my grandma has learned to use FaceTime. Woohoo.
Oh,
And
that's so
she's
cute.
even using Marco Polo. I mean, like, because we'll go to her window and she'll FaceTime us from her room, and we'll stand outside her window and talk to her that way. But I think that there are some of those things that when our loved ones are out of town that we'll be able to carry on. Like they've been forced to learn to communicate with the outside world.
For sure. For sure.
Amazing.
No, I think that, we used to do conference calls all the time and we never got to see everyone's faces. And so
Yes.
you're right. Being able to just see each other's expressions and faces and
Yes.
be humbled by not having as much makeup on one day to another and our hair not being perfect and
Yes.
really get to know like you. I just think it's so neat. And
Yeah.
it is that's the positive, because now
Yeah.
when I call somebody, I don't want to just necessarily talk to them. I want to see them.
Right. No, we have grown accustomed to seeing each other all the
Mhm.
time. It's so
Yep.
funny.
Yep.
Even yeah, with my own sisters and like the way that we communicate more on video now than we did before. So it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's good. There are some good things. So I was going to ask you something about that and I lost my train of thought about the changes to volunteering. I lost my train of thought. But you're back out and about a little bit. Like you're able to do some of the things, right? Like I've seen you do social distancing things where you're like, hey. How are you? Like, what percentage do you feel like you're back?
Mm. Um,
Like 10? Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not. I know
I
my
would say
social media feed is
five,
not anywhere near
10.
5%. Yeah.
Yeah, but it has to be comfortable for everyone. When we
Right.
have been able to go do certain things, um, I made sure that everyone is comfortable before you making
Yes.
those attempts to bring people back together. And
Yeah.
so I, I definitely appreciate and respect when masks are needed or when we have the ability to be outside and not
Yes.
utilize the mask. But it's a tough one because everybody is still fearful. And so I definitely want to continue to be respectful, but not having as much time out there in the community is hard. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
is. And there is I saw this week, maybe it was yesterday, Tammy with the Frisco Arts they were doing a board meeting where they were all social distance and they had some people on Zoom too. So
Yeah.
it was like a hybrid of like if you like whoever feels safe here, or needs or distance or whatever. So it's really cool to see
Yeah.
the different options that can be provided so that everyone does feel safe
And
and is
respect
safe.
and respect each other's desires.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And it could be that it's not me, but it's that I want to see my dad tomorrow and I can't see him if I've seen you. And so there's
Yes.
yeah, it's all everybody's got their own, which is again, there's just a paramount value of Heart Stories is everybody, each person's individual story, because you don't know the story. You don't know the
Yeah.
whole backstory ever of what's going on with someone, even as it relates to masks.
For sure.
And social distancing. So tell me, as a mom and someone who is just right in the thick of healthcare, you have access to all the most recent studies and information, and you guys are changing. We're not going to say pivoting, but evolving, transitioning on a daily basis with all the news and the changes. So tell me what what that's been like. How is your services, even just having telehealth with Legacy ER,
Yeah.
how have those things helped and changed? And how do you feel like you're like in the same way that volunteering has evolved, how do you feel like healthcare and patient care has evolved through the pandemic in good ways?
Yeah. Well, I have to say that our leadership, and I have said this many a times, it's really an honor to be a part of a leadership team that was really working ahead of the game to be prepared and to
Yes,
make
yeah.
sure that our community felt safe and that things were clean. And even though there was fear there, slowly walking through different processes that we had and helping them understand, this is the way if you have COVID symptoms, and this is the way if your son fell off of the monkey bars, and it was happening. And initially it was very scary for people, but we stayed true to ourselves, and we stayed very true to our system, and consistently made sure that we had the correct PPE and the right protocol and processes in place, so that as things were changing across the world and across the nation, that we were just staying on track with what we believed in to keep safe for the community. So, we've seen less people coming into our facilities, initially because they were scared, but
Yeah.
now, as we having, a lot of the testing being done, people are feeling comfortable and believing with referrals and the community discussing our process. They're feeling more comfortable getting back into our facilities and being taken care of. Because I think a lot of people were really so scared that they were getting more sick than being able to care for themselves. And so I'm glad that they're trusting us, that we're able to continue to take care of them and they're going to be safe.
Yeah, that's so good. Are you, I know you had adopted the telehealth system where certain things could be treated. Is that still going?
Yes. So
Okay.
we do. We have our live doctors online with the telehealth, and then we have a nurse's line. So if there's just some minimal questions that they have that they may need an additional conversation with the doctor, then at least they can start there.
Yes.
And talk to the nurses, and then go into a telehealth and get some continued diagnosis, or even a script, or even the doctor being able to walk them through the process of really needing to come into the facility.
Yes.
So it's just a great tool that we've been able to add into our company. And I think it was very beneficial to a lot of people who had such fear coming into any medical facility.
Right. Do you think that's one that will stay? Will you continue?
I do. Now, yeah, I was sorry to interrupt. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. And I think it is in addition to any medical, well, I won't say any medical facility, but I think it is going to be new and standard in the medical field.
Yes.
And so needed, because there are minimal questions that can be answered over the phone. Majority of the things you need to come into the facility, whether you're here in the local North Texas area or wherever you may be, being able to talk to somebody when you're on vacation, but feel comfortable with the facility locally that you grew up with. Yeah. I think that there's a benefit to that.
Absolutely.
And and you're going to talk, in our cases, all our calls are in-house. So you're talking to the doctors that you would see if you came into the facility.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I love it. I think, and just being a busy mom, like working, if things were the old normal, the way things used to be, having telehealth. I mean, I know there have been experiments with telehealth, and there were some, but now I feel like like you said, it's kind of become the standard that this is a first line of defense. Even if it's just to find out whether you need to come in right now, or if you can wait 6 hours, or whatever it is.
For sure.
Having that triage, that first step of triage. So in this transition and challenging time, being a mom who is busy doing all the things, how do you personally find balance and encourage other mothers to find balance during this time of so many unknowns? And it is challenging, and it feels like there's a never-ending transition, and we don't know what we're transitioning to, which is a little unsettling. So where are you finding encouragement, and how would you encourage other moms and just women in general?
Yeah. Well, number one, continue to reach out to your girlfriends. Continue to have those conversations, get on the phone with them, meet them in the park, do whatever you can to stay connected with your girlfriends, because that has been one of the biggest things for me to stay mentally healthy during this time. And then I would also say, find something that you wouldn't have normally done before. I do like to read, but I never felt like I made time to read.
Right.
So during some of the different things that are going on in our world, what I have done is added even more girlfriends into my into my network of girlfriends, and I have educated myself and gotten more into reading information that will help me understand and hear and
Yeah.
listen, and just be educated on loving and caring and understanding everything that's going on with an open heart. So
Yeah.
I would say those two things: don't let go of those girlfriends, and try something new in this new transitional time in your life.
That's so good. That's such good advice. That's good big sister advice. So what is bringing you, I'm guessing you may have just told us, but what's bringing you the most hope and joy right now?
Hope and joy probably is getting back to figuring out a regiment, a
Mm-hmm.
schedule.
Yeah.
But really, the hope is, for me, is adding people into your life that have impact and that you can make an impact with. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's so much good to be had in this world.
Yes.
And we're just at the beginning of making it beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. That's the hope. And that I feel like we find our joy just in people always. All the joy is in the faces of friends and the faces of those you serve and love. I think, yeah, that's where it's at. That's
That's right.
That's the Heart Stories model anyway. Get face to face with your girlfriends, even if it's on Zoom.
That's
Um,
right.
so what do you have? I mean, you gave us your a way that you find balance and you're learning and you're staying connected with girlfriends. But if you could write yourself or another woman a permission slip right now, like, I'm going to give you permission for this thing that you would not ordinarily give yourself permission for, whether it's right now in the pandemic transition, whatever this is right now, or whether it's just always, this is the gift and the permission I would give other women. What is that? I feel like as a big sister, it means so much to have her say, no, it's okay. Like this
Yeah.
permission.
Yeah. Well, I think that I would do two things. I think that I would give my girls permission to have patience. Be patient.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything has to be answered right now. Be
Yeah.
patient.
Yeah.
And then I would also say, along with that, which works together, is grace.
Yes.
And the two of those in combination is it would be my humongous permission slip. I wish that I would give myself those two permission slips, because I think it's so important. And so that's what I would write up.
I think that's good. And that's usually it is the permission that we would give ourselves that we want others to have too, like that thing that we most need, that we want to give to those we love the most. So that's beautiful. Man, I think just ending on that note of like patience with yourself and with others, and grace, especially right now in this specific time in history with this beautiful social movement that like all of us are learning, and all of us are like have so much to learn, and where we go from here is just going to be about patience and grace and commitment and love. So thank you. Of course that came from you, our citizen and volunteer of the year. Thank you so much for spending time with us, Terri. You are such a bright light in the world, and it is a joy to see your face and be with you.
Oh, thank you, Crystal. Love you, friend.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye.